I had seen stories like this before, but I never thought they would happen in real life, especially not to me. So, you can imagine my surprise when my wife of nearly 20 years said to me over dinner, "Honey, we need to have a talk." My heart raced as I prepared for what might come. Was she confessing that she wanted a divorce? I couldn't help but wonder where we had gone wrong. I looked across the table at her, my hands trembling. "What is it about?" I managed to ask, trying to keep my composure. "Well, first, I want to say that I love you," she began, taking a sip of wine, looking a bit nervous. I noticed she hadn't eaten much. I examined her every move, hoping for a clue as to what she was going to say. Unable to stand the tension, I blurted, "Have you been unfaithful?" Her expression changed, and she looked at me, wide-eyed. "No, never," she assured me, "I would never betray you." Even though her emphasis on betray unsettled me, I felt a bit relieved. If it wasn't infidelity, then what could it be? "Are you thinking of leaving me?" I asked, fearing the worst. "Oh, George," she sighed, "where do you get these ideas? I'm not leaving you. I love you." "Great," I replied, "I love you too. I want us to grow old together and share our lives." Meiji's face softened into a warm smile. "Me too, George. So, what's wrong? Are you feeling okay?" I asked, starting to worry about her health. "I'm fine, dear," she reassured me. "I didn't want to worry you, but I've been feeling like something isn't right between us lately. With Meredith in college, things just feel different. It could be empty nest syndrome or maybe a midlife crisis, but we seem stuck." I felt a bit relieved, but still concerned about what was troubling Meiji. "Stuck? How so?" I asked. "Well, we're both so busy with work that we hardly have any time for each other. Your job often takes you away, and I get stuck at the office until late. And when we're not working, we're both exhausted. When was the last time we shared some real closeness?" She repeated her question, and honestly, I couldn't remember. It had been so long. I admitted, "It's true. I know I've been tired every time you've tried, but when we were younger, tiredness didn't stop us. We used to be close a few times a week. Now, it's like once every 3 or 4 months, if at all." I agreed with her, though I was frustrated that it felt like she was blaming me for the lack of connection when she was the one who always seemed distant. "If it were up to me, we'd be close more often." She explained, "I just want us to shake things up, improve things between us, so we can be together for a lifetime. We both seem bored, George, and we need to rekindle something." "I'm not bored," I replied. "I have plenty of excitement in my life." "Excitement? What do you have planned for tonight?" she asked with a playful smile. "I'm going to watch The Curse of Oak Island. They say they'll make a big discovery tonight," I replied. "Don't they say that every week, and all they ever find is mud and bits of wood?" she teased. "Well, yes," I admitted, "more or less." "See," she smiled, bored. "It's not boredom, it's comfort," I argued. "That's what happens when you're married for so long. You get comfortable." "I don't want comfort," Meiji replied. "When we got married, you used to be passionate every night. You haven't been like that in years. You want me to be more passionate now?" "That's not quite what I mean, George. Honestly, I feel as little interest in intimacy as you do. That's just where we are now, we've lost the spark. And that worries me. We're still in our 40s, with many years ahead of us. If we've already lost so much interest in each other, what will we have left in a few years? How will we manage to stay together? We'll stay together because we're married. That's what married people do. We're used to each other and we're comfortable. We're like roommates now, George, but comfortable ones. I think we're more than just roommates. I mean, we still have closeness now and then, and we love each other. So, we're roommates with occasional benefits, then." "Yes, I love you," George, and I know you love me. But can you honestly say that you're as crazy about me as you were when we first got married? It's different now, I tried to explain. Our love has matured over the years, like fine wine. We're older now, and our passion isn't as intense as it used to be. But it could be, she said, taking my hand. Don't you want to feel that thrill again, like we used to? I don't know, Meiji. I like how things are now. Sure, I'd love for us to be closer, but I enjoy coming home and relaxing with you in a calm and peaceful way. We've worked hard to get here. It's like that hammock in the backyard, it's been there for nearly 20 years. Every year, I'd tell myself that one day I'd finally be able to just lie back and relax in it, read a book. Now that I'm finally ready to do that, you're saying you want to get rid of the hammock. Meiji looked at me, processing what I had said, then shook her head. I don't understand that, but I'm not asking you to give anything up, sweetheart. I'm saying I think we need to bring back the romance, to revive our love life before it's too late. My desire hasn't disappeared, it's just been quiet. I want to feel that excitement we used to have when we couldn't get enough of each other. So, you're saying our life together no longer feels satisfying? Not at all. You're a wonderful partner, caring and attentive. You always know how to make me feel special. The issue isn't that our connection is bad, it's that we rarely want it anymore. What are you saying? I asked, feeling lost. I'm saying I need more. It feels like we've stopped being romantic partners and become mere companions. I want to feel your love for me again, I want to feel my love for you again. I want passion, desire, romance, and intimacy. You said you weren't interested in closeness. Do you want it or not? I want it, she said. It's like I want to feel young with you again. Are you sure this isn't just your hormones acting up? Don't go there, George, she interrupted firmly. Don't minimize my feelings or blame my hormones just because I'm upset. Wanting to revive our love doesn't mean I'm going through some midlife crisis. I'm sorry. You're right, that was an insensitive comment. I'm just trying to understand where all this is coming from so suddenly. Honey, it's not sudden. I've been thinking about this for a while. I'm scared that if we don't make some important changes to revive our relationship, our marriage won't survive. She looked like she was about to cry, and I understood what she meant. Honestly, we had been drifting for a while. Well, if this isn't something that just came up out of nowhere, I responded, why bring it up now? Why didn't you tell me about this earlier? It took me some time to get here, she said, but I'm mentioning it now because I didn't want things to continue like this. She had a point. I cared about Meiji, and I'd do almost anything to make her happy and strengthen our bond. All right. I'm listening. I can see you've thought a lot about this, and it's important to you. What should we do? Should we see a marriage counselor? I've heard of something called intimacy coaching, should I look into that? Those are good ideas, she said, wiping away a tear with a smile. Thank you for suggesting them. I think we should consider that. I also had some other ideas. Like what? Well, let me ask you something first. Your company is a creative agency, right? You always tell me they're among the best at what they do. Yes, we're one of the top 2 in the state, maybe even in the top 5 nationwide. Why? How does that relate to our love life? You hire the best people. Absolutely. And how many of them have been with the company for, let's say, 20 years? None. The company's only 6 years old, and we're always bringing in fresh talent. Our field sees a lot of staff turnover. Understood. So, you're constantly bringing in new energy, new ideas, and new approaches? Yes, we're big on innovation. Our way of doing things is always evolving. And these newcomers keep bringing new skills and energy, making things better for everyone? Yes, that's the idea. Where are you going with all this? George, we'll be celebrating 20 years next month. We were exclusive for 3 years before that. During all this time, I've been faithful to you, and as far as I know, you've been faithful to me. That means for nearly 23 years, we've only been with each other. You were my first, and as you've said, you only had 2 girlfriends before me. That's true, I replied, starting to feel uncomfortable with where this was headed, a knot forming in my stomach. Well, would you hire someone at your company who learned their skills 23 years ago, never updated them, and never brought in new ideas or training? Would you want employees who only practiced their job occasionally? Would your company be top tier if no one tried to improve and innovate constantly? Of course not, but that's work. This is about us. What's your point? I'm saying that 23 years ago, we were at our best. We shared a deep connection frequently, it was exciting and new. But then life changed. We became parents, then professionals, then busy with various activities. We perfected our skills in those areas but neglected our connection with each other. We kept doing things the same way for 23 years. It became routine, the excitement faded, and we got tired of the monotony. We lost the spark. What are you trying to tell me, Meiji? I'm saying that I don't want comfort anymore, George. I'm tired of it. I want something fresh, something exciting. I want to learn new things, grow in love, and use that to reignite our spark, to shake up our comfortable, monotonous life. I want to feel love again. I want a partner who is passionate, not just a roommate. I need that spark. All right, I said, my voice trembling. I felt nervous, unsure if it was anxiety or adrenaline, maybe it was just my instincts kicking in. I'll do whatever it takes to bring the passion back. We can have regular date nights, do activities you enjoy, cut back on TV, and find a hobby to share. We can travel more, you love traveling. So why not take a trip every month, even if it's just one night in a nice hotel in the city? Meiji took my hand, kissed it, and then shook her head. George, I know you'd move mountains for me if you could. I know you think these ideas would help. But in the end, it's still us doing them. We're still trapped in the same routine. Nothing will truly change, and soon we'll be tired of that too. Those suggestions are a start, but they're still too comfortable. We're not really learning or exploring anything new. Then what's your plan? I was following the conversation, but now I was lost. What exactly are you suggesting? Should we try going to a resort for couples or something? Oh, no, she replied, wincing. I couldn't handle a place like that. I don't want to deal with random people pressuring us into anything casual. No, not at all. Then what? I asked, feeling frustrated. Well, I think we need something that shakes things up, that restarts our relationship, something fresh and exciting to bring the spark back to our connection. At this point, I was almost willing to consider anything she suggested. That sounds interesting. I'm open to it. How do you propose we do that? I think I should start seeing other people. Anything but that, I said, pulling my hands away from hers and giving her a bewildered look. Repeat that. I don't think I heard you right. I said I'm thinking about going on dates with other people. Yes, I heard that loud and clear, I said, leaning forward again, looking at my wife as if she'd lost her mind. Are you serious? She seemed surprised by my reaction. Yes, I am. I've thought a lot about this, and I think it's what we need. Meiji, you've had some wild ideas in the past, but this tops them all. I don't see it as crazy, George. If you let me explain, you'll understand. Go ahead, explain how going on dates with other men is supposed to strengthen our relationship and rekindle our connection. George, I'm not talking about betraying you. That's not what I mean. Then you want to go on dates with other men instead of me? Yes, exactly. Real dates, like romantic outings. Yes, that's the plan. And a real date would mean as if we weren't married? I hadn't thought of it quite that way, but yes, exactly, a genuine date. So, would he get to know you intimately on the first date, or would you make him wait like you did with me? George, I never mentioned anything about that, did I? No, but you talked about a real date, as if you weren't married. And on real dates, people often get close. So, are you saying that kind of closeness is off limits? Well, I'm not saying that. So, you're open to being close with them? I didn't say that either. I'm just saying I'd see how things develop. How things develop. So, not only do you want to go out with other men, but you're open to intimacy and developing relationships with them? You're twisting my words, George. You're focusing only on what you want to hear. Yes or no, Meiji, would you be intimate with these men you want to go out with? She paused. It's not that simple. Yes or no? I suppose, yes. Then that's being unfaithful. No, it's not. How can you not see that? You'd be going on a romantic date with another man, sharing intimate moments, that's infidelity. I was furious, quickly losing my composure. This could turn ugly if I wasn't careful. Meiji tried to keep her cool, which only irritated me further, as always, when I was losing my temper. It was as if she wanted to show she was more civilized than I was. It wouldn't be infidelity, she reasoned, because you'd be giving me your consent and approval. You'd know all the details, who I'm with, what I'm doing. I'd share everything with you afterward. Oh my God, I shouted, emphasizing every word. Not only do you want to betray me, but you also want to humiliate me completely. Why would you ever think I'd agree to let you see someone else or approve of you being with another person? What happened to you? Did you really think I'd accept this nonsense? George, please, try to stay calm so we can talk about this. There's no need to shout or use harsh language. Please. I stared at her intently. Did you really think I'd be okay with this? I knew it might be hard for you to understand, but you love me, and you're a reasonable man. You're intelligent. I thought, and I still do, that you'd calm down, see the logic in this, and support me. Support you, while you're with other men. It's not just about being with other men. If that was all I wanted, believe me, I could have done it for years, with plenty of people. I could have been with your brother, your friends, even your boss. They've all tried to charm me countless times. But I didn't. I'd never betray you like that. But you're suggesting it now. No, sweetheart, she corrected me. This isn't about betrayal. It's not just for me, it's for both of us. It'll bring excitement, fun, and new experiences. Our connection will feel alive again. I'll feel alive again, and you'll be a part of it. We're in this together. So, you mean you want me to join you on these dates? Well, I didn't mean together in that literal sense. You'd be home while I go out, and then when I come back, I'd share all the details with you. I laughed. So, you expect me to feel satisfied after you've been with someone else, and even clean up after him? She blushed. Really, she blushed. I couldn't believe it, she genuinely wanted me to go along with this. Well, that would be the ultimate way to show your love. I'd rather freeze before doing that. Alright, we can skip that part, she offered, unless you want to ruin our marriage. You'd skip everything. Your being with another man would ruin our marriage. It won't be making love, George, that's something I reserve for you. I love you, not him. It's just, physical. Just physical. I studied her for a moment. What does that mean? It means there'd be no feelings involved. We'd just explore, physically. Nothing more. Just physical, I repeated, reflecting on her words. Exactly. Let me get this straight. You want it to be just physical with another man? If it comes to that, yes, she confirmed. So why? Why look for that with someone else? She didn't have a quick answer. I guess, for variety, to try something different. Which implies I'm not meeting your needs. You're not satisfied with me and want to find someone better. Wait, no, she protested. That's not true. I love being close to you. You're fantastic in every way. I don't want anyone else. If that were true, I said calmly, you wouldn't be considering anyone else. The only reason to look for something just physical with someone new is to improve on what you already have. That's not true, she countered, without offering any evidence. Oh, but it is, I argued. Think about it. If you love sushi and have the best sushi place right next door, why would you go to the other 20 sushi places in town when you already have the best one right here? She thought for a moment, then responded, to try something different, I guess. But why? If you know this place is the best, why go to another place that you know won't be as good or satisfying? Of course not, only to explore other options if part of you thinks they might be better than what you already have. She looked a bit confused and admitted, I'm not sure. You're making it complicated, but it's not like that. Alright, so it's just physical, right? Yes, how many times do I have to say it? Alright. If that's true, I have a suggestion, I said with a smile. She perked up, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. Really? What is it? If it's just physical, then I'm willing to let you explore it. She looked surprised. You would? I'll hire a male companion to come here and be with you, I said. He'll be skilled, well endowed, and have a clean bill of health, so you can enjoy it safely and thoroughly. That way, you'll have your just physical experience. A companion? Are you insane? She exclaimed. Why? If it's just physical, I replied, it shouldn't matter who it is. It's simply an experience with a stranger for you to enjoy. In fact, this is a better option since he's a complete stranger, there's no chance you'll know him, it'll be quick, and he'll leave. You'll get what you want with no risk of emotional attachment. You're making me sound like a stranger. I don't want to be with a hired stranger. I need a connection with the person. I'm not just a object. Exactly, I said, smiling. So it's not just physical. You want more than that. You want intimacy with a specific person because you feel a connection. Her face flushed again, and she couldn't respond immediately. Finally, she said, all right, maybe that's partly true, but it wouldn't be meaningful. I laughed. What do you mean it wouldn't be meaningful? For whom? For you. For him. You both know it's only physical. He knows I love you and doesn't expect anything more. You really believe it wouldn't be meaningful to you? Yes. Then why do it if it has no meaning? Meiji, what you're saying doesn't make sense. If it has no meaning, you wouldn't want to do it. You want to be with him because it means something. She buried her face in her hands and groaned. You're driving me crazy. Yes, it means something to me. We agreed to share that level of closeness only between us when we got married. But now, you're willing to let it go just to experience it with someone else. You want to explore that level of intimacy with someone you feel connected to. You're not content with the connection we share or with our life together. So, you're looking for something better. No, it's not that, she murmured weakly. Then, are you hoping to be with him only to realize he isn't as good as I am? That he doesn't measure up, or that he can't satisfy you? She just looked at me. Of course not. She exclaimed. You wouldn't consider it if you thought it could be the same or worse than what we have. You're only interested because you think, or at least suspect, that it'll be much better. The idea excites you. I don't know. She shouted, I never thought of it that way. You're confusing me. So, what happens when you come home after he fulfills you in a way I can't? Have you thought about that? She started, then stopped. I never considered that. What are you saying? I mean, how can you expect things to be the same between us after you've experienced something supposedly better with someone else? You say you're doing this to bring excitement back to us, but if he's better, you might not want to be with me anymore. You'll want him, and, worse, I'll know you're just going through the motions with me. How can our relationship continue? We'll move forward, like we always have. How can I move forward like before, Meiji? What do you mean, how can I continue as before, knowing that I don't satisfy you? How can I kiss you, knowing another man's kiss means more to you? How can I hold you, knowing you prefer his touch? She looked at me in silence. How can I ever be close to you again, knowing that you might be thinking of him if he's better than I am? How can you be happy with me? I didn't marry you to be second best. She shook her head. But it won't be like that. If it won't, then why even try? You're considering this because you think it'll be amazing, something different from what we've had. Otherwise, you wouldn't think about it at all. When she didn't respond, I continued, and you know what's worse? There's no way I can win in this. I love you, I find you incredible. I've only ever wanted you. I thought we had a wonderful life together, but now you're tearing it all down. No matter how great we are together, you're obsessed with the idea of how incredible it might be with him, the thrill of something new, the excitement of being risky, all feeding into your enthusiasm. Even if we were equals in every way, you'd still think he's better. I can't win. He's already won, no matter what. She looked at me in silence, speechless. I was beyond anger. Who's been putting all this nonsense in your head? Please, George. Meiji, I'm serious. I'm done with this. This is completely absurd. I'll never agree to you seeing someone else. I'm not going to sit by while you're with another person. If you thought for a second I'd allow someone else to touch you, then you're not the person I married 20 years ago. You've turned into someone who doesn't care about our marriage. She looked completely stunned. I'd never spoken so harshly to her before. George, you're overreacting, she said, tears streaming down her face. No, I'm not, I said calmly, my voice steady. You're not taking this seriously enough. Get out of my house. I don't want you here anymore. You're right, we won't make it to 20 years. It's over right now. Just suggesting this shows me you've already abandoned our marriage. So go. I'm not leaving, she replied stubbornly. This is ridiculous. I live here. I'm your wife, we live here. You can't just throw me out. Let's talk about this like adults. Fine. Stay, I replied as I grabbed my keys and wallet from the counter, heading toward the kitchen and into the garage. Where are you going? She asked, panic evident in her voice, tears streaming down her face as she looked at me in disbelief. Anywhere but here. This place makes me sick. Please, George, don't leave. We can work this out, she pleaded desperately. I stopped, turning to her. Agree to never bring up this idea or anything like it again and commit to staying faithful to me for the rest of our lives, just as we vowed on our wedding day. No more thoughts about other men, no more wanting anything outside of us. Her eyes showed the inner turmoil she was struggling with. She looked on the verge of breaking down. George, please, I really thought this could help us. That sounds like a no to me, I replied, opening the garage door. Meiji's cries, begging me to stay, echoed behind me. Wait, please. I swear, I won't bring it up again. Just don't leave. I turned back, with one last thing on my mind. I don't know who's been filling your head with all this garbage, but I'm going to find out. And if I find out you've been seeing him or spending time with him in any way, I'll divorce you. That's a fact. We're not seeing each other, George. Nothing's happened yet. But it could, I replied. Go to your boyfriend, you're probably already doing it. We haven't. I promise. If you want any chance of saving our marriage, you'd better not be lying. No more secrets. No more lies. No more games. I'm not, George. I swear. We've only talked about it. You talked about being with another man, so that only confirms what I've been saying. Your proposal wasn't about something meaningless. You wanted my permission to be with a specific man with whom you were already making plans. I watched her cry even more, disgusted. I can't even look at you right now. I'm sorry, George. I didn't think you'd react this way. He said you might be upset at first, but you'd understand. Upset? I shouted. Who the hell is he? She stopped, and I looked toward the open garage door. Are you going to tell me everything, or are you choosing him over me? Stephen, she admitted. Stephen Archer. The consultant you've been working with recently? The guy from the dinner at Hans? Yes, him. We've been talking. I needed to sit down. I closed the door, returned to the table, and faced Meiji. Tell me everything, I demanded. Everything? She questioned. Yes, I want to know everything about your conversations, what you did, and everything about this man. She nodded. May I sit? It's still your house, I replied. She nodded again, took a seat, and began to explain how we'd ended up in this mess. Over the next 2 hours, my wife shared everything about Stephen Archer and how he'd manipulated her. This had been going on for months. He had started slowly, subtly trying to influence her with his ideas. He was careful not to push too hard, knowing she would catch on if he did. According to her, they had only talked so far, not even kissed. That was part of his strategy. By not making any obvious moves, he made her believe his intentions were innocent. He planned to wait until I agreed before making any moves. When she finished, I realized 2 things. First, our marriage was probably in trouble, even if she cut ties with Stephen. And second, Stephen needed to face the consequences. I needed a plan for both issues, but I felt stuck, unsure of what to do. I needed time to figure it out. Are you still angry with me? Meiji asked. I'm not sure how to describe what I'm feeling, Meiji, I admitted. A big part of me is hurt and angry that you even considered what Stephen suggested. If you wanted to bring back some excitement, there were so many other options, like maybe not rejecting me every time I tried to be close to you. Meiji lowered her head, looking regretful. After a moment, she looked up again. And what about the other parts? I sighed. Another part of me feels sorry that Stephen misled you. It wants to forgive you and move on. That sounds good, Meiji said, smiling. Can we just forget this happened and go back to how things were before? No, we can't, I said honestly. There's still a part of me that wants to walk away and never look back. Maybe I'll forgive you eventually, but it's going to take time and effort. Is there any part of you that finds the idea exciting or intriguing? Come on, Meiji. I shouted. Are you seriously asking me that after everything I just said? I'm sorry, she murmured, looking embarrassed. I'm really sorry. So, what happens now? To be honest, I'm not sure, I said. I need time to decide what I want to do. The fact that you're still even considering it says a lot. I'm so sorry. Please tell me you don't want a divorce. I don't know, I replied. But it depends on you. If I catch you lying, it's over. If you don't completely cut things off with Stephen, it's over. You'll probably ask about that. What should I say? You need to decide what you'll tell him. Do you talk outside of work? Calls, texts, something like that? Not really, she explained. We mostly talk at work. Stephen made it clear we shouldn't contact each other outside the office, but he'll probably bring it up tomorrow. I'm not sure what to say. You should tell him it's over, definitely, I responded, thinking about how to deal with the man who had pursued my wife. Is he married? I asked. She nodded. Yes, she murmured, he just had his second child a few months ago. My God, Meiji. He's married and just had a baby, and you were considering getting involved with him? What about his wife and family? Did you even think of them? He said his wife was fine with it, they have an open marriage. And you believe that? She blushed, clearly beginning to see how foolish she'd been. Yes, I suppose I wanted to believe it. I realize now how silly that was. Meiji, I said, studying her. If we're going to save our marriage, you have to be on my side. You have to support me no matter what I do or say. If you hesitate or side with him in any way, it's over. We'll end it. I'm on your side, honey, Meiji promised. I swear. You and our daughter are all that matter to me. Stay here, I said, getting up to grab my laptop. I brought it back, sat beside her, and opened it. Have you checked his Facebook page? Yes, a few times, but he's not very active on social media, she said, scrolling as I asked her to. She typed a little and then said, here it is. There wasn't much publicly available information. Stephen's Facebook profile didn't show a relationship status, family photos, or even a mention of his wife. So, I went to LinkedIn and looked up Stephen Archer. Bingo, there were more details here than on Facebook. Do you know his wife's first name? I asked. Janet, Meiji replied. I did a quick search for Janet Archer and found 2 results. Is she a real estate agent or an IT recruiter? He said she runs a luxury real estate agency that handles multi-million-dollar homes, Meiji responded. I clicked on the link for the real estate agent, and her profile appeared, showing a young, beautiful blonde. Is this her? I asked, looking at the beautiful woman who was supposedly Stephen's wife. I don't think so, Meiji replied. I've never seen her picture, but that woman doesn't match the description he gave me. He said she was older, overweight, and not very attractive. I laughed. Of course, he said that. This Janet Archer looked young, fit, and stunning. I opened her Facebook page. Look at this, I said. Her public profile said she was married to Stephen and had 2 daughters, Selena and Catherine. Do those names sound familiar? Yes, said Meiji, looking at the woman's photos. Those are the names of Stephen's daughters. I scrolled through her About section and found numerous family photos. Some were from a recent youth event, showing Janet with her daughters and, right next to her, smiling, was Stephen. Meiji's jaw dropped. That's him. No offense, Meiji, I said, pulling up some photos of Stephen and his wife, but why would he bother with you when he has such a beautiful wife at home? She looked hurt, which, honestly, felt satisfying. I don't know, she said, on the verge of tears again. That's not what he told me about her. You said they're in an open marriage, right? I asked. That's what he said, Meiji replied, sounding uncertain. I found some photos of Janet in a bikini and whistled. Maybe I've been looking at this the wrong way. What do you mean? Meiji asked. Do you have her number? I asked. Meiji looked nervous. Yes. Why? You're not going to call her, are you? No, I replied. You're going to. Meiji looked shocked. I can't do that. Wait, didn't you say you were on my side? You have to support me, no matter what I decide, right? She nodded. Yes, that's what I said. Then, are you still with me? Yes, she confessed. Great, I said. Then call her. Fine, I'll do it, Meiji agreed but paused before dialing. Can I ask why? I smiled. Well, Stephen wants to be with you, right? Meiji nodded. So, if I'm going to let that happen, don't you think it's fair that I could also be with his wife? Wait, seriously? Meiji exclaimed. You want to be with his wife? Look, I said, pointing to Janet Archer's photo in a small bikini. She's attractive. That's not going to happen, Meiji said firmly. I laughed. You wanted to add some excitement to our relationship, right? Yes, Meiji said, crossing her arms. I did. And you thought being with Stephen would do that? I clarified. Wouldn't it be even more exciting if I also got involved with his wife? I mean, they're in an open marriage, aren't they? Yes, but, Meiji hesitated. This isn't about you being with some random woman. Oh, really? I smiled. A random woman. What makes her random? She's married to Stephen and allowed to be with other men. You're married to me and want the same thing. Doesn't that make you two the same? Meiji shot me a glare. No, it's not the same. Why? I asked. How is it different? And how is my being with Janet different from you being with Stephen? She's too attractive, Meiji insisted. So, it's fine if I'm with someone less attractive? No, that's not what I meant, Meiji replied, sounding defeated. It's just, not the same. Are you worried I'd enjoy it too much? I asked. Maybe. Or that I'd prefer her over you. I continued. Maybe. Or perhaps you're afraid I'd think of her when I'm with you. I pressed. Yes, Meiji admitted reluctantly. See where I'm going with this? I thought we agreed to let this go. Here's the English translation with corrected grammar and orthographic errors, smoothing out intimate moments to keep the focus on the emotional tension and relationship dynamics. Yes, but that was before I saw her and really thought about your idea, I admitted. Oh, so just because you think you could be with an attractive woman, now you're okay with me being with Stephen? Meiji replied. Absolutely, I responded enthusiastically. Why not? You're such a jerk, Meiji declared. Wait, I'm a jerk because I want to be fair. You were the one who wanted to see someone else. I'm just following your lead. You're completely messing up what I had in mind. I wanted to be with other people, but I don't want you doing the same. You're just trying to confuse me. Meiji said, her voice trembling. Meiji, let's stay calm and talk about this maturely, I urged. I'm beginning to think this could actually benefit us. I want nothing to do with this. Meiji insisted. You convinced me it was a mistake. It is a mistake. Let's forget the whole thing. Let's not rush, I responded, searching for Stephen's number on Meiji's phone and dialing. Let's contact your friend and see what he has to say. No. Meiji shouted. Hang up. Don't call him. Calm down, I said, gesturing for her to relax. It's all right, honey, it's ringing. I put the phone on speaker so Meiji could hear both sides of the conversation. A man answered in a low tone. Meiji, I told you not to call me at home. Hello, is this Stephen Archer? I asked clearly. There was a long pause, followed by a click, and then the line disconnected. That's strange, I commented to my wife. He hung up. Let me try calling again. Meiji reached for the phone. Please, don't do this, she pleaded, but I pulled the phone out of her reach. Having second thoughts. Yes, she whispered. Hello, Stephen. This is Meiji's husband. Are you still there? I asked. Yes. What do you want? Stephen replied, sounding annoyed. Is this a bad time? I asked. What do you want? He repeated, sounding more irritated. Well, I started, Meiji mentioned your idea about going on a date. There was silence on the other end for a moment before he finally replied. And I think it might work, I said, while Meiji tried to interrupt, but I motioned her to stay quiet and continued, with some clear boundaries and agreements. Boundaries and agreements? Stephen echoed, sounding confused. Yes, I confirmed. If you're going to be involved with my wife, let's keep everything above board. No secrets, right? Sure. I suppose, he replied, uncertainly. I mean, we don't want to ruin a marriage with lies and deception. Exactly. So, it's alright as long as everyone knows what's happening. Sounds fair, Stephen agreed, sounding reasonable. Meiji looked at me, wide-eyed and shocked. I glanced at her, and she shook her head. I don't want to go through with this, she whispered. I gestured for her to stay quiet and continued, Stephen, why don't you bring your wife into the conversation and put her on speaker? What? Stephen asked, sounding surprised. Why don't you bring Janet, the mother of your two daughters, Selena and Catherine, into the conversation so she can hear all the details? I asked. Listen, you jerk, Stephen growled. I don't know what kind of game you're playing. I interrupted him. Stephen, I'm not playing games, I said calmly. Meiji told me how you and Janet are swingers and that she's fine with whoever you're with. We were looking at her photos on Facebook, and I must say, I'm quite interested in meeting her while you're with my wife. What? He exclaimed abruptly. I'll be with Janet, your wife, while you're with Meiji, my wife. Isn't that what swingers do? They swap partners. Leave my wife out of this, you idiot. Stephen demanded. Stephen, my friend, I replied calmly. It's a little late for that. You've been pursuing my wife for months, haven't you? Wasn't Janet pregnant with Selena for most of that time? Congratulations on the birth, by the way. I bet Janet's ready for a bit of excitement. Shut up. He shouted. I told you to leave Janet out of this. Oh, so she doesn't know you're after Meiji? I thought you two had an open marriage, I said, glancing at Meiji, who had her face buried in her hands, crying. I heard a woman's voice in the background. Honey, what's going on? Who's on the phone? Nobody. Everything's fine, just get the girls ready, Stephen replied to his wife. Oh yes, I continued, today's a big day, Catherine has a cheerleading tournament this afternoon. How do you know that? Stephen asked, clearly angry. It's amazing what you can find on Facebook, I laughed. I have an idea, I said, waiting for his response. After a moment, he finally asked, what kind of idea? Why don't Meiji and I join you and Janet at the tournament? We'll fill her in on everything she's missed, then we can all go out for drinks, get to know each other better, and have a fun evening together. I'll even let you and Meiji have the main room. Stephen growled over the phone and hissed, stay away from my wife and kids, you idiot. I'll tear you apart if I see you near us. Calm down, Stephen, I said firmly. You said there shouldn't be any secrets and that everyone should be aware. That includes Janet, right? Go to hell, idiot. He shouted. Don't call me again. Fine. I'll just call Janet, then, I replied quickly before he could hang up. Wait. Stephen shouted. How did you get her number? Stephen, that's not relevant, I informed him. What's important is that everyone knows what you've been doing with my wife and what your intentions are. There was a pause, then he asked, what do you want from me? I want you to stay away from my wife, I said firmly. If I hear you're contacting her, I'll tell Janet everything. Understood? Clearly, Stephen responded in a weak voice. But we work together. I can't avoid her completely. Meiji's on leave for the next 2 weeks, I informed him. By the time she returns, you'd better be gone from that company. You're a consultant, so tell your bosses that one of the clients got too close, and it's better for the account if you're transferred. You'll likely be gone before Meiji comes back. And if you're not, I challenged, turning to Meiji. Meiji, call Janet from your phone and tell her everything. She looked at me in shock. It was a bluff, but Stephen didn't know that. I signaled to Meiji to continue. Fine, she said, wiping her tears. But I haven't. Wait. Stephen shouted. All right, I'll talk to them first thing in the morning. Good, I replied. You're not as foolish as Meiji thought. One last thing, Meiji can hear you now. Apologize to my wife. I could sense Stephen's frustration. He took a deep breath and murmured, "I'm sorry, Meiji." Before she could respond, I cut in, "Never contact my wife again. Now, get ready to head to that cheerleading tournament with your family. My best to Catherine." I hung up, tossed the phone onto the counter, and faced Meiji. She looked at me with pleading eyes. "I'm so sorry," she began, but I motioned for her to stop. "Tomorrow, call your boss and explain you need a family emergency leave for 2 weeks," I instructed. She nodded, avoiding eye contact.